Princess Lysra walked out of the grand hall with slow, controlled steps. But inside her heart, chaos was spreading like fire. Her guards surrounded her. Their weapons still hot from earlier. Their eyes full of anger toward the human who dared to claim their princess. Yet Lysra said nothing. Not a single word. Not even a command to punish him. This silence confused everyone. As soon as she entered her royal shuttle, the door closed behind her. And the mask she wore in the hall cracked. She let out a long breath. A breath she didn't even know she was holding. Rian Holt. The human who stood before her without fear. His image replayed in her mind like a forbidden memory. Why didn't she kill him? She should have. Any Valari royal would have. But when she looked into his eyes, she felt something she had never felt before. Not anger. Not insult. But something warm. Something dangerous. Her second-in-command, General Thale, stepped forward. "Princess, give the order," he said. "We can detain the human now, interrogate him, remove this insult before the empires react." Lysra turned her golden eyes toward him. A cold warning in her gaze. "General, if I wanted him dead, he would already be dead." The general stiffened. Her tone shook even him. "Then, what do you want us to do about him?" Lysra did not answer. She walked past him and sat on her throne inside the shuttle. She stared at her own reflection in the polished metal wall. Why did she hesitate? Why did her heart beat faster? Why did she feel seen? Her AI assistant, a soft blue hologram, appeared. "Princess," the AI said gently. "Your heartbeat increased by 15% in the Grand Hall." Lysra frowned. "I am aware. Should I run a medical scan?" No. Because she already knew the answer. It wasn't sickness. It wasn't fear. It was something much more complicated. Something impossible. Suddenly, the AI flickered again. "Princess, I found something you should see." A new hologram appeared. It showed an old prophecy from Valari history. A prophecy rarely spoken. A prophecy believed to be myth. The royal bond shall awaken only once in 1,000 stars. A chosen partner, not of blood, not of race, but of soul. One who stands without fear before the air. Lysra's eyes widened. She had always carried a birthmark on her wrist. A glowing circular pattern only visible under certain light. Valari priests called it the bond mark. A sign that she had a destined partner somewhere in the stars. A partner who would awaken her power. A partner who would change the galaxy. But she had never believed it. Never trusted legends. Never thought destiny could touch her life. The AI then showed another scan. A scan from the Grand Hall. Taken when Rian stood in front of her. Her mark had glowed faintly. Just enough for the sensors to detect. Her heart dropped. Her breath stopped. Her fingers trembled. No, it cannot be him. A human. A species considered young, weak, unrefined. Her mind refused it. But her body had already reacted. Her bond mark had responded to Rian Holt. Not violently. Not in rejection. But in recognition. General Thale stepped closer. "Princess, should we investigate the human's past?" Lysra looked away, hiding her confusion. "Yes," she said softly. "But not to harm him. To understand him." Thale looked surprised. The Valari princess had never shown interest in any outsider. Especially not a human. When the shuttle landed at the Valari flagship, Lysra walked to her private chamber. The moment the doors closed, she pressed a hand over her glowing wrist. The faint warmth from the mark still there. Still reacting to a man she barely knew. She whispered to herself. What are you, Rian Holt? Why do you not fear me? Why do you look at me as if I am not a princess, but a person? In the darkness of her room, her mind replayed his words. Humans usually bowed, trembled, or stayed quiet when facing her. But he stood straight, steady, unshaken. He didn't see her power. He saw her. And no one had ever done that. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Valari Council gathered in panic. Their voices filled with fear and rage. Princess Lysra must reject the human. This claim will destroy our traditions. It is an insult to the royal bloodline. And in the middle of the chaos, a single message arrived from the princess herself. Do not touch the human. The council members froze. Her message meant one thing. Princess Lysra had already made a decision inside her heart. Even if she didn't admit it yet. But outside her chamber, in the shadows of her throne room, a hidden figure listened. A figure who hated humans. A figure who would do anything to stop this bond. The princess had a destiny. But dark forces now moved to destroy it. And Rian Holt had no idea that assassins were already hunting him. Because the galaxy feared what might happen if a human and a Valari princess truly became partners. The galaxy had frozen once. Now it was about to break. While the Valari Empire struggled with confusion and fear, humanity remained strangely calm. Rian Holt returned to the human diplomatic ship, the Horizon Spear, where his officers waited with wide eyes and shaking hands. Captain Mira, his closest friend, rushed toward him. Rian, what have you done? The entire galaxy is calling you insane. The Valari might start a war. Rian removed his gloves slowly. His face calm. But his eyes holding a secret no one else knew. I did what I had to do, he said. The crew exchanged worried glances. They all respected Rian. They trusted him. But even they couldn't understand why he would declare a royal princess as his partner. A political suicide move. A cultural offense. A possible declaration of war. But Rian simply sat in his command chair. Silent. Thinking. Waiting. Mira leaned closer. Rian, did something happen between you and the princess before today? Do you know her? He didn't answer. Instead, his fingers touched a thin scar on his wrist. A scar he had kept hidden from everyone for years. This scar was not from war. Not from training. Not from any human enemy. It was from an ancient Valari artifact. One he had touched when he was only 15. During a secret mission that almost no one in the galaxy knew about. And from that day on, he carried something strange inside him. Something he couldn't explain. Something he had hidden from everyone. Even the human government. Mira noticed the faraway look in his eyes. Rian, what happened to you before you became a commander? Rian finally spoke. His voice low. Almost a whisper. There are things about humanity the galaxy doesn't know yet. Things we kept hidden. Things even humans are afraid to acknowledge. Before Mira could question him, the main console beeped, a high-priority encrypted message. Locked under Obsidian Lock. The highest clearance in the Terran Alliance. Everyone in the room froze. Obsidian Lock messages were used only for events that could wipe out civilizations. Rian opened it. A hologram of Admiral Kian, one of the highest-ranking humans alive, appeared. His expression was grim. Commander Holt, your declaration has activated a level 0 risk scenario. We need to talk. The crew stepped back. Level 0 meant universal danger. The type of danger that only appeared in myths. The Admiral continued. You must return to Terra Prime immediately. Rian shook his head. I can't do that. The Valari will assume guilt. The princess will be forced. Commander. The admiral's voice cracked like thunder. You don't understand. Your bond mark reacted. The crew gasped. Myra's heart pounded. What bond mark? She whispered. Rian looked down at his wrist, where his scar faintly glowed with a soft, silver-blue light. The same glow that appeared on Princess Lysera's wrist in her private chamber. The Admiral spoke again. This glow means something ancient has awakened. Something humanity hoped would never return. Mira whispered. A bond? Like Valari bonds? The Admiral shook his head slowly. No. Much older. Older than Valari, older than humans, older than any empire. Rian looked up. I felt it the moment I saw her. The Admiral closed his eyes. That is exactly the problem. If the Valari discover what your mark truly means, they will not fear your claim. He paused. They will fear you. The crew exchanged terrified looks. What do you mean fear him? Mira asked. The Admiral answered with the weight of 1,000 secrets. There was a time, before recorded history, when humans could form bonds with beings of immense power. It made them unstoppable. It made them feared. So feared. The early galaxies united to seal that ability away. Mira whispered, shocked. And the seal is breaking? Not breaking, the Admiral said. Broken. Silence filled the room like cold smoke. No one knew what to say. No one dared breathe. Rian finally spoke. For years, I felt something inside me. Something quiet. Something waiting. I knew it would awaken one day. The Admiral nodded slowly. And now it has awakened, with the Valari princess. The crew understood the gravity in an instant. This was not about politics. Not about love. Not about culture. This was fate. Power. Ancient history rising again. The Admiral continued. Commander, if the princess completes the bond with you, it will merge the Valari royal power with the ancient human bond. That combination. He swallowed hard. Could rewrite the galaxy. Rian lifted his gaze. Determined. Unshaken. I didn't choose her for power. I chose her because I knew. She was meant to walk beside me. Myra's voice trembled. What happens now? Rian stood up slowly. His eyes fierce. Focused. Ready. Now, the galaxy will come for us. And we must be ready. Far away on the Valari flagship, Princess Lysera stood on her balcony. Her wrist glowing faintly. Feeling a pull, an invisible thread. Leading straight to the human who dared claim her. She whispered into the starlight. What are you hiding? Rian Holt. And in the darkness, two destinies moved closer. Two ancient powers awakened. And the galaxy trembled. Not in fear of war, but of the bond that could reshape existence itself. The Grand Galactic Hall was the largest meeting place in the known universe. A place where thousands of alien leaders gathered. A place where every word spoken could start peace, or begin war. And today, the hall was more silent than ever before. Every seat was filled, every camera was active, every species was watching. Because the humans were about to speak. And humans never spoke without reason. At the center of the hall stood a young human commander named Rian Holt. Tall, calm, and strangely confident for someone facing the most powerful empires of the galaxy. His uniform was simple, not decorated like alien nobles. But the way he stood made him look more important than any crown. Across the hall sat Princess Lysera. The Valari Empire's only heir. Feared by many, admired by all. Her golden eyes could break the courage of warriors. Her voice could command fleets. And her presence alone made the hall feel colder and sharper. Everyone believed this meeting was diplomatic. A simple negotiation. Humans had come to improve trade lines and reduce border tensions. Nothing dangerous. Nothing dramatic. Nothing unexpected. But humans were full of surprises. And Rian Holt was the biggest surprise of them all. When Rian stepped forward, the hall lights shifted toward him. Even the air felt heavy. But no one expected what came next. Not the humans. Not the aliens. Not even the princess herself. Rian lifted his head. Looked straight at the princess. And spoke clearly. His voice echoing across the ancient chamber. I declare Princess Lysera as my chosen partner. The galaxy did not react for the first second. It simply froze. As if time itself stopped moving. Then the silence became fear. Then shock. Then chaos waiting to explode. 1,000 alien leaders leaned forward. Many eyes glowed in confusion and anger. Even the walls seemed to tremble. No one had ever spoken like that to a royal heir. Not in any empire. Not in any age. The Valari princess slowly rose from her throne. Her expression unreadable. Her long silver crown catching the light as she stood. Her eyes were locked on Rian. Cold, sharp, and confused. Her elite guards reacted instantly. Their armor opened, aiming crystal rifles straight at Rian's heart. One wrong move and he would die before he could blink. But Rian did not blink. He did not step back. He did not tremble. He stood like a mountain carved from the void. Council members shouted from all sides. How dare you claim a princess? Are humans trying to start a war? Do you understand what this means? This declaration is forbidden. Rian answered none of them. He looked only at Lysera. As if the entire galaxy did not matter. The princess finally spoke. Her voice cold like the surface of a dying star. Human, do you understand what you have done? Rian's reply was simple. But so powerful that several delegates gasped. Yes. Lysera took a single step forward. Her royal cape sliding behind her. Her presence was so strong that even her own guards shifted nervously. She approached the center of the hall. Each step echoing like thunder. The cameras zoomed in. Billions of viewers across thousands of worlds watched breathlessly. Humans had just challenged one of the oldest royal traditions in the galaxy. A tradition where no outsider could claim a royal partner. Not even the highest commander. Not even kings from other empires. But Rian Holt, a human with no royal blood, had done it. With no fear. No hesitation. No apology. When Lysera stopped in front of him. Only inches away. Her golden eyes searched his face. Trying to understand the madness behind his choice. Trying to understand the strange feeling rising inside her chest. Her voice lowered. Almost a whisper. But every creature in the hall heard it. Why me? Rian finally spoke a longer sentence. His voice steady. His meaning clear. Because destiny is not decided by blood, but by courage. The princess blinked. A tiny, involuntary reaction. Something she had never done in any public meeting. For the first time in her life. Something broke through her perfect royal mask. A hint of warmth. A hint of surprise. A hint of interest. The guards waited for her command to attack. If she said one word, Rian would die instantly. The council waited for her anger. The empires waited for her rejection. But Lysera said nothing. She only stared at Rian. Her heart beating faster without her permission. The galaxy grew silent again. Not peaceful silence. But dangerous silence. The kind that comes before storms. Before wars. Before fate changes. Rian's declaration had shaken the entire universe. And Lysera's reaction shook it even more. Finally, she whispered. Barely audible. You are either brave, or foolish. Rian answered. I choose brave. A soft glow flickered in Lysera's eyes. The tiniest blush touched her cheeks. Something no one in the galaxy had ever seen. The hall gasped. News screens exploded. Translations spread across systems. The universe went wild. A human had declared a princess as his partner. And the princess had not rejected him. Not yet. Not fully. Not as expected. The galaxy held its breath. Waiting for the next moment. The next step. The next spark that could burn empires. And deep inside Lysera's chest. Something awakened. Something ancient. Something forbidden. Something dangerous. Something she never expected to feel for a human. The story of their destiny had begun. The Valari flagship, Eternal Radiance, drifted silently through deep space. Its glowing hull shining like a silver moon. Its presence alone strong enough to intimidate entire fleets. Inside the throne chamber. Princess Lysera stood in front of the ancient Valari oracle stone. A glowing crystal sphere older than her empire. Older than most civilizations in the galaxy. She touched the surface lightly. And the crystal reacted instantly. A soft pulse. A warm light. A whisper only she could hear. The bond awakens. Lysera's heart raced. But she kept her voice calm. Tell me what this bond wants. The oracle did not speak in words. It showed visions. Flashes of a human boy touching an ancient artifact. A spark entering his skin. A link forming between him and something cosmic. Lysera recognized the face. Recognized the eyes. Rian Holt. The human who dared to claim her. The visions changed. She saw herself. A young Valari princess in a burning battlefield years ago. Her shuttle collapsing. Fire everywhere. And in the smoke. A human ship rushing toward her. Saving her life. Shielding her escape. Lysera gasped. She had always believed the rescuers were unknown mercenaries. But the oracle revealed the truth. It was Rian's ship. Rian's crew. Rian who had carried her broken body through flames. Rian who refused to leave without her. The bond did not start in the hull. It started years ago. In fire, danger, and survival. Her fingers trembled on the crystal. Why didn't he tell me? But the oracle only whispered again. The bond trial awaits. Lysera stepped back. Her breathing uneven. Her emotions tangled. Confusion, fear, curiosity. And something new, something she refused to name. The doors opened suddenly. General Thale entered. His expression severe. Princess, the council demands a formal rejection of the human. They say the galaxy is in panic. Lysera turned toward him slowly. Her golden eyes colder than any weapon. I will not reject him. Thale's heart dropped. Princess, this is madness. She stepped closer. The bond mark has awakened. He and I must face the trial. Thale froze completely. His face drained of color. The bond trial. Princess, no Valari has attempted it in 3 generations. People died. Powerful royals died. How can a human survive it? Lysera's answer was quiet. But filled with an unshakable certainty. He will survive. Meanwhile on the human ship, Horizon Spear. The crew watched in shock as a Valari war beacon flashed outside their windows. A glowing symbol. A direct royal summons. Something no outsider had ever received. Mira looked at Rian with fear. Rian, this is a trial summons. No human has ever been tested by Valari psychic chambers. Rian tightened his gloves. Then I'll be the first. The crew tried to stop him. They begged. They argued. But Rian's face stayed calm. He whispered. Lysera is calling me. Those words alone froze the whole room. Inside the Valari trial chamber. The chamber was a massive sphere of shimmering void crystal. A place where reality bent and thoughts became visible. A place where even Valari nobles entered shaking with fear. Lysera stood outside the entrance. Her wrist glowing faintly. Her breath caught when she saw Rian walking toward her. He looked unarmored. Unshielded. Yet calm. Fearless. And without hesitation. Lysera stepped forward. Her voice lower than ever. You shouldn't be here. Rian smiled softly. I'm exactly where I should be. Her heart jumped. She hated that it did. But she could not stop it. She pointed to the chamber. This place can kill you. The trial breaks minds, crushes spirits, destroys the unworthy. Rian looked at the entrance. A swirling vortex of light and darkness. Then he looked back at her. Then I will not break. Lysera felt something warm hit her chest. A feeling she had never allowed herself to feel. Not for anyone. Certainly not for a human. Why, she whispered. Why risk your life for a bond that might destroy you? Rian stepped closer. His voice calm and honest. Because something inside me reacts to you. Because I've felt this connection for years, even before I knew your name. Because destiny is calling us. And I don't run from destiny. Her throat tightened. She looked away for a moment. Trying to hide the tremor in her voice. Rian, humans don't understand the trial. It will enter your mind. Show you your fears, your pain, your past. It will tear your soul apart. Why aren't you afraid? Rian answered without a moment of thought. I'm afraid of losing you. Not of the trial. Lysera's heart almost stopped. Her breath, her thoughts, everything froze. For the first time. A human had spoken to her not as a princess. But as a person. She swallowed hard. Unable to express the storm inside her. So she said the only thing she could. The only warning left. If you fall inside the trial. I will feel it. Your pain will become my pain. Your death will become my burden. Rian gently touched her wrist. The bond mark glowed brighter. Their energies linked in a single spark. Then I won't die, he whispered. The chamber roared open. A wave of psychic power hit them both. Lysera's cape whipped in the energy. Her eyes widened in fear. Real fear, not for herself. But for him. Rian stepped inside. The light swallowed him whole. The doors closed with a thunderous echo. Lysera pressed her hand against the barrier. Her voice trembling for the first time in her life. Rian, please survive. Inside the chamber. Rian fell into a storm of illusions. Nightmares. Memories. Voices. Everything trying to break him. Everything trying to make him fail. But far away. Through the bond. A soft voice touched his mind. Warm, golden, trembling. Rian. I'm with you. And he stood up. Ready to fight the impossible. Inside the trial chamber. Rian stood in the middle of a storm made of memories, fears, and violent illusions. The chamber twisted itself around his mind. Turning every shadow into a monster. Every sound into a threat. Every heartbeat into a countdown. The Valari said the trial destroyed the weak. Humans were supposed to be the weakest of all. But Rian Holt was built differently. The first illusion came like a blade. He saw the battlefield from his childhood. His home burning. His people running. His younger self crying in fear. The trial tried to break him through pain. Rian clenched his fists. I survived this once. I can survive it again. The illusion shattered. The second illusion came as a voice. Whispers that echoed from every direction. You're not worthy of a princess. You're nothing. You're only human. Rian stood straight. His voice stronger than the storm. I don't need to be worthy. I just need to be true. The illusion shattered again. Then came the third illusion. The most dangerous one. Princess Lysra herself appeared. But twisted. Cold. Cruel. Her eyes filled with hate. Why do you chase destiny, human? Why do you claim what you cannot have? Rian stepped closer. Even though it was only an illusion. His voice full of conviction. Because I saw something real in you. Not a princess. But a person who is lonely. Afraid to be seen. Trapped in the weight of duty. The illusion faltered. Her form flickered. And dissolved into starlight. But the trial did not give up. It unleashed its final attack. A psychic force powerful enough to crush bones. Break minds. And erase souls. Rian fell to his knees. His vision blurring. His breath cold. His heart shaking. For the first time. He felt himself breaking. And in that moment. When the trial thought it had won. A warm glow wrapped around him. A voice. Soft, trembling. Yet strong in its own way. Rian, you're not alone. Princess Lysra. Her bond reached him. Cutting through the trial's illusions. Like light cutting darkness. Rian stood. His voice filled with strength he did not know he had. I fight, because she fights. I survive, because she believes. I rise, because she called me. The trial cracked. Light burst across the chamber like a supernova. Outside, in the viewing hall. Valari leaders shielded their eyes. The psychic barrier shook violently. General Thale whispered. He's surviving. A human. But Princess Lysra kept her hand pressed against the barrier. Her eyes glowing with a strange mix of fear and hope. The chamber doors ripped open. And Rian walked out. Alive. Standing tall. His eyes glowing with a faint silver light. Every Valari warrior stepped back. Even the council members trembled. The princess breathed out in relief. Rian's first words were simple. But they echoed like prophecy. I told you I wouldn't die. Lysra stepped toward him. Her heart racing so fast she thought others could hear it. She lifted a trembling hand and touched his wrist. Her bond mark glowed bright gold. Rian's glowed silver. The colors merged. Becoming one. The bond was complete. The ancient connection between humans and Valari. Lost for thousands of years. Awakened again through them. The council erupted into panic. This cannot be allowed. He will change the royal line. The galaxy will fear them. Lysra turned slowly. Her voice calm and deadly. Fear is not my problem. Lies are not my burden. Destiny has chosen. General Thale bowed his head. He was loyal, even to choices he feared. A council member screamed. You choose a human over your empire. Lysra's cold golden eyes locked on him. I choose truth. And he is my truth. The entire hall fell silent. Some in awe. Some in terror. Some unable to process what they witnessed. Rian stepped beside her. Not behind her. Not in front of her. But perfectly beside her. As equals. He took her hand gently. And Lysera did something no Valari princess had ever done. She allowed it. And she didn't let go. Then she turned to the galaxy's holocameras and declared. I accept Rian Holt as my partner. The words hit the galaxy like a shockwave. Empires trembled. Old enemies froze. New alliances whispered in fear. Rian spoke next. His voice strong. Calm. And full of the fearless courage that brought him to this moment. I will not bow. I will not run. I stand with her. And with humanity. Lysera looked at him. For the first time without walls. Without masks. Without fear. Her voice soft. Meant for him alone. You changed my fate, human. Now let's change the galaxy together. Rian smiled. Partner. She squeezed his hand. Partner. The bond, now complete. Sent a pulse across the stars. A wave of ancient energy awakening the forgotten parts of the universe. And deep in the dark corners of space. Where dead empires and sleeping gods rested. Something opened its eyes. Because when a human and a Valari princess became one. The galaxy was never meant to stay silent. It was meant to witness power. It was meant to witness destiny. It was meant to witness them. The human and the princess. Partners, bonded, unstoppable. Ready to reshape the future of every star.